And in the case of tariffs, we also want to be speaking about very important thing. That's going to be the reciprocal tariff. What is the reciprocal tariff and what is Trump going to be doing with it? That's going to be our headlines for today. Hi and welcome. The US President Donald Trump meets Narendra Modi at Washington DC. Yes, this meeting actually happened and that was 2 days ago. 2 days ago this meeting was fire and there was a lot of important information that was going on. We see that both of the national leaders are becoming very positive about their relationship and they're actually having a very nice rapport and a friendship between them, which is actually really important, and that's really nice to actually see in the side of two important Indian leaders. So we see that it's China, US and then India, the top three countries ruling the world. Now we see that when India and US are in a good relationship and everyone has their common enemy as China, let's see what's going to be happening. And because they've also discussed an important point against China and counterattack for China in their importance of trade. And there was a lot of important discussions about the illegal immigrants who are actually living in the US, the Indians who are living in US who are illegal immigrants. So let's talk about that as well. And finally about the tariffs on the US products in the Indian market, which has been increased, and the comparative tariffs. And in the case of tariffs, we also want to be speaking about very important thing. That's going to be the reciprocal tariff. What is the reciprocal tariff and what is Trump going to be doing with it? That's going to be our headlines for today. And I'm going to be just summing up all of the important points because this discussion was epic and there was a lot of important information, detailed information. But let me just convey whatever I understood in an easier way for layman to understand whatever has happened. And I'll just be providing what all important information that has been covered in this meeting. So without any further ado, let's get started. First of all, we see that the first important thing is going to be about the tariffs. What is a tariff? So basically, a US product which has to enter an Indian market has to enter with high tax levels. So because of this high tax levels, we cannot find most of the US products in our Indian market. But we can actually see a lot of Indian products in the US market because the tariff for Indian products in the US market is comparatively lesser. Yes, the tariff is comparatively lesser on Indian products in the US market, but it is comparatively higher in the case of US products in the Indian market. You see, let's just take an example of the pharma industry. It's about 14% of a tariff which is actually provided on the US products in the Indian market, but it's 0%. Yes, it's 0% in the US because the Indian products have 0% tariff in the pharma industry in the US. But Trump sees as a disgrace because he sees that the tariff on Indian products in the US market is really low. Yes, in fact, it's really low. But we see that our US products, which is imposed in our Indian market, is really high. It's like actually really high comparatively. It's more than 20 or 25% of what it's actually imposed on our Indian products in the US market. So this is actually the case of tariffs. Trump sees this as a disgrace and he's mentioned that during the April season, he's going to be increasing and he's going to be imposing the law of reciprocal tariff. In the case of 14% in the pharmaceutical industry on the US products in the Indian market, then Trump is going to be imposing the same 14% for the pharmaceutical products, which is basically sold in the US market. He sees that now it's 0%, but India is basically implying a 14% tariff on us in the pharmaceutical industry. So we are going to be keeping it equal. So if they actually keep us a 14% on these pharmaceutical products, then it's going to be the same 14% for the US products in the Indian market. That's what he says. So this might be totally changing everything because there's a lot of Indian pharma products in the US market. We see that it's totally high. The level of for US products is comparatively really low because we see hardly no products, the US products in our Indian market, but a lot of them is being sold in the US market because the reason is the tariff. As I mentioned before, the tariff is really high. So Trump is told that most of the countries. He sees this as a disgrace, and most of the countries will be having the equal tariff, the reciprocal tariff of whatever which is being implied on them will be implied on us as well. So that's why he says, so from now on, we'll be expecting a change. But this might totally change the Indian economy. So everyone, all the Indians and the stock market is totally rumbling right now. So our Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister of India, has visited Washington DC by himself. He has stayed in a really luxurious hotel in Washington DC, and he's also visited and he has also discussed about all of these important things to the second term president of the United States, Donald Trump. It was really a surprise because he has been in the mode of a war. He's going to be doing everything equal, neck to neck on the tariffs and a lot of important things. The second important field which he actually focused was on the illegal immigrants. What are the illegal immigrants? So Indian citizens who have been staying there, who have entered there in an illegal way. Maybe not in the case of something what you think. The illegal way is that they've gone there for their maybe a student visa, or they just went there to explore the place, but they never returned. Maybe they had a visa, like a student had a visa for like 3 years, but as he actually finished studying there, he got a new job and he's doing another job for living, and he's just living there. He did not return to his home country because he did not want to come back, because he got a really nice job and he's earning dollars. So he got a really nice stay in that place, and his visa time is over, which is illegal to stay in any country after the visa period. He or she has to return to their own country before the visa period is getting expired. So he has to come back, but most of the people, millions of people, haven't returned. He sees that as a disgrace as well, and he says that every illegal immigrant from all of the countries should return back to their home countries, or they will be sent by us. He states that they'll be sent by us in military flights, so they're going to be sent in batches. So if you're going to check on everybody's visas, or every country, maybe if they choose India, they're going to choose every Indian and they're going to be checking their visas. If their visa period is over, then they're going to be dragged and they are going to be sent back to your own country. He states that everyone should return back with their own country. Lakhs of people are going to be returning back in bunches in military flights to their own countries. This has been going on for a while, and basically most of the countries like Mexico, India, and these are just top 2-3 countries where there's a lot of amount of illegal immigrants in US. He states that he wants to find out each and every person, and they have to be returning to their home country, because they cannot stay here forever because their visa period is over and they do not have their official green card, which is their own citizenship to stay in the US. So they are not considered as US citizens, and they're not they're just Indian citizens who just came here for work, and their visa period, which is the timeline for them to return, is over, so they have to go back to their own country. So that is what has been mentioned in this case, and they have to be going back to their own country. But Indian Prime Minister hasn't said much about this. He has not conveyed anything bad about this. So we basically see that what is going to be the effect of this talking. What is the effect that's been conveyed because of their meeting. So the big effect is that we're going to be seeing a lot of US products in our Indian market, like Harley Davidson, Tesla, and iPhones. You guys know that people go to Dubai and purchase iPhones, isn't it? Because it's going to be really less, right? So the US is basically imposing some amount of tariff in India, but Dubai, it's zero tax, go tax free. So people go there and purchase the same US iPhone product, which is like a newest product. They just go there, they purchase it, and then they come back to India and they actually use it. Because that'll be a margin of 35 to 40,000. So maybe if their friends were going there, they're just gonna pay their friends to ask them to buy a new iPhone for them, which is something really common with the Indians. But we cannot do the same in India because of the high levels of tariff. So we are going to be having to reduce the level of tariff, because April month, it's like our deadline. Because if you don't reduce your tariff on the US products, then there's going to be an actual instant of the reciprocal tariff which is going to be implied by them. The reciprocal tariff might be taking them to something. It's going to be destroying, and it's going to be like rumbling the Indian market, and the stock market is going to be really volatile because the change is just unpredictable. So we see that you have to be reducing the tariff on the US products in the Indian market by now, because that is our deadline. Till our April month, it's a deadline, because we have to be reducing it by then. And if we cannot actually reduce it by then it's going to be taking us a long way to go, because this might totally change the reciprocal tariff, and that's going to be rumbling our market, just like I mentioned before. So most of the tariff will be reduced, because we won't be going in such a case, because India cannot handle, to be honest, India cannot handle such a situation. Yes, you heard me right. Because all of the industries, if the tariff level are just equal, like this is Indian tariff and this is the US tariff, if they are equal, then it's over for us. Yes, I mean it. Because that's going to be totally changing everything, because the 14% and the 0% might make the 0% as 14% as well. So that's why Narendra Modi has visited to Washington DC personally to talk about this and actually let India outside of this thing. Because the tariff, he's just asking to let India outside of this, and he's also promised to buy gas. Yes, he has also promised to buy gas and petroleum from the US, because we are basically purchasing the gas and petroleum products, which is just the petroleum products from Russia. Why from Russia? We have a really nice bond with Russia, and due to the Ukraine-Russia war, the US has made Russia to not sell their goods anywhere. So their goods has not been sold to many people, and it's not the same as before due to the war. So it's India who's actually buying a lot of goods in a really cheap price. So it's going to be a win situation for India. So if you actually go in this case, he sees that Trump has observed this, and he's asked India to actually purchase goods like the gas products from them. So this might be a L situation, but we have to come in, guys. We have to get down to a neutral point of our negotiations. And then he has accepted that, and the US products, like the defense products for Indian army, he has said that he's going to be purchasing. Another thing that we purchase from Russia in a dead cheap price because of the war. Trump is asking us to purchase it more from the US market as well. He's not said us to not purchase it from Russia. He said us to actually purchase it more from the US, because if we actually accept that, as Narendra Modi actually said him, he actually told him that he's going to accept this offer. But if he actually accepts it, then it's going to be changing everything forever, because we are getting that for a dead cheap price. But when we actually see that it's going to be increasing, if the price is going to be increasing, and if we actually purchase that from the US, it's going to be changing everything. So this is one important thing as well. So these are just the two important things which Narendra Modi has actually promised the US president that he's going to be getting them. So these are two important things. And I think with this, we sum up this video. So we come to a conclusion. It's been like hours of conversation which they actually had, and they have had a really good bond between them. But with this, I just like to conclude whatever they have spoken. Maybe I'm not really a professional or a person of financially like a financially good person. Like, I don't have much knowledge, but I'm just explaining you in a layman term for you to understand. Okay, I think we come to the end of this video. I'll meet you tomorrow in a new video. And then bye-bye, see you later. It's me, Yashwanth, signing off. Let's all of us hope and see what all is going to be happening for the tariff matter and the illegal immigrants matter. So without that further ado, let me just end this video so you can keep scrolling. Bye. See you later.